What's up, y'all? Dave Money, right back with another one. I'm gonna break it down, yo. There's something been burning me up for a long time. This whole Nas Illmatic thing. So in this episode, it's not fashion. I'm swinging my sword at the Illmatic stands. So here it is. I'm gonna kind of critique Nas's career in a way. Listen, I understand that Illmatic was an iconic album, but people kind of sound like stans and don't sound like true Nas fans or fans of music when they kind of describe his discography and their dislike with the direction he has taken it. Okay, I'm gonna try to unpack this, and I'm unpacking this because I'm trying to prime you guys for my Lost Tapes 2 breakdown, because I'm going to review that, but I want to lay some stuff out first. Okay, so a lot of people from a certain era, people who are a little older than me, claim that Illmatic was Nas's best. I got no problem with that if that's your favorite, because often, your favorite album is your favorite album because not just because of the sounds, it's not just a sonic thing, it's also about what you were doing in your life at that time. Okay? But maybe that's not you, maybe it's purely sonic. Here's my thing. Nas is a master MC. To say that it was written was a big decline from the level of artistry that came with Illmatic is crazy. Consider this. Yes, he had this kind of machine gun raw flow in a lot of the Illmatic songs. But him being, I think, a visionary, he wanted to harness that energy, right? So he hooked up with some other producers, Dre and them, for It Was Written. And the whole thing sounds more orchestrated. But the flow is also more orchestrated. And that's the mark of an artist who wants to cultivate a style and doesn't want to be stagnant. See, we like to paint pictures. And he painted some great pictures in Illmatic. He did. I mean, I could quote verses. I could quote verses for you, but just like y'all saying, it was kind of raw. It had like a machine. Streets a trifle. I jumped from just like a rifle. I get it. So, you know what I'm saying? As time went on, I think he wanted to kind of paint a different sort of picture. You know what I'm saying? Like make the flow kind of like a movie. So he kind of developed the Escobar character, and people hate that. But anyway, that's my explanation for It Was Written. But it's not just limited to It Was Written. My big problem with the Illmatic stands, maybe that's too harsh a word, but my problem with these Illmatic fanatics who kind of judge the rest of their career harshly is they speaking in terms of albums. And what real music fan consumes music that way? Like, we don't consume music based on just album. Like, music comes to you in pieces. Like, you hear certain songs and you like the song or not. Like, we don't live our life by albums. So when people, like, I'll say, like, let's use Vlad for instance, because I'm sure you guys have seen like a lot of his criticism. When people start to talk this album comparison stuff, it kind of sound like you trying to be a music nerd, but you're not like speaking of the music the way we actually consume it. Again, you hear music in parts and pieces. Like, you might constantly hear songs from this Snoop album, and then, at the same time, you're hearing songs from the older album, and it mixes, and it creates, it's all part of a certain time in your life. So, when people start talking that this album was a classic and that album, it's like, who, again, I'm repeating myself, but it's like, who consumes and digests music that way? Okay? So, my other thing is, when people get caught up in that album stuff, and especially with Nas and even other MCs, it's like you just mentioning this so-called iconic album, but you're not mentioning like the iconic verses. that came throughout a 20-year career. Even if we don't go with the whole 20, let's say you judging that man from Illmatic to Nostradamus. You know, in that time frame, yeah, maybe you didn't like the Nostradamus album, but if you look at maybe soundtracks he was on or something he did with Raekwon, like the verses we love, like if you think of like Let My Niggas Live, I don't remember what year that came out, but when you just steadily talking about like Illmatic, but you can't, what that man say? I scream at the mirror, curse, asking God, why me? Running a black church, gun in my hand, y'all try me. I'm God's son, son of man, son of Marcus Garvey, Rastafari, Ari, Hell, Ali Selassie. Y'all know that song, but it's like people who talk that Illmatic, they don't quote these verses. You know what I'm saying? Hoes in my focus, slow me. Roll with the brokest homie. Cold and we hopeless lonely. Scolding my foes who phony. From blocks where coca feed you. And cops is over evil. I know some people who tell on felons who sold some diesel. When you not like, when you can't like roll them verses off, it's kind of like, yo, I don't want to hear your Illmatic conversation. Because you consuming music like some kind of music nerd. And that's not how we consume it. We don't judge it by just album. You know what I'm saying? And when you knock an MC because he wanted to play with the flow, I mean, I respect all opinions, but I gotta put more weight on the artist because he's the critically acclaimed artist. So if he decides to experiment and take the flow in a direction and develop a character, then, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give him some leeway to get busy and handle his business. As far as hatred of the Escobar persona, maybe I'm too young. You know what I'm saying? But I remember, to me, it seems like when he got on that Big Willie, you know, that kind of, that mafioso stuff, I don't think he was like straight biting off at anybody. I know other people were playing with those ideas, but those movies were popular in the culture. So it's okay for us to love the movies, but as an artist, if you kind of infuse that into the work, now you become a sucker. I know sucker MCs did it too, but some people did it well. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but when he did it, it didn't seem like he was jumping on some bandwagon. Yeah, so I mean that's my thing. Tell me what y'all think, because I'm ready to really, I'm gonna pick this Lost Tape too, right? I'm gonna pick this thing apart. And I'm gonna give my honest criticism. Let me tell you something else about music. And this is not just a Nas thing. Generally, when I hear something, I know if I like it or not. I'm not with this whole you gotta sit and ride with it thing. You ever been in a supermarket and you hear you hear a song playing in the background at the supermarket? It's faint. You don't know who the artist is. It's not even the genre you usually listen to. You know what I'm saying? It could be, how long has this been going on? Right? You like, damn, it sound like something from like late 70s. Sound like three white guys with long hair. It sound like they saying, how long has this been, right? And you get obsessed with it. And you want to record it, but you don't have enough memory on your phone. And you wish you had Shazam, but you never downloaded Shazam. So you just trying to remember the words. And you get home and you go crazy trying to search for this song. My point is, when I like it, I know. And not to say that nothing grows on you. Like, obviously, yes, something can grow on you. But I'm not in the business of, like, I'm going to make myself ride around with this album for 3 weeks or 3 months to see if I like it. And I'm not trying to, like, make sure I hate on it either. But I'm not trying to, like, leave myself open to getting into something that I don't like. Like, when we see things that we like, we know we like it. There are exceptions. But I'm saying generally, I'm not playing that game. So, yeah, that's my little Nas rant. You know, I guess I'm defending, fanboying. But hey, I'm a critical thinker, and I think people are looking at this thing wrong. So I'm trying to prime you Cause I'm gonna bust down his lost tapes too soon. And yeah, the man has albums that I don't like. He has some stuff that's boring. So I understand when you talking about like, this what 20-25 year career, when you saying like there's some stuff you don't like. I understand. But check this out. We back now. Let's get back to Nas. Check this out. For most MCs, and I'm not dissing, I'm not being shady, but for most artists, when you listen to the album, most of the songs you don't like. When you listen to a Dipset, when you listen to most albums, are you crazy about most of the songs on there? There are exceptions. If you're thinking about like a Kanye West, yeah, like Kanye, who I don't even think is a great rapper, Kanye will have an album where like most of the songs sound like kind of incredible. But for most of the rappers that I even enjoy and the ones I don't enjoy, like how many songs do you really love out the album? Most of the songs will probably bore me. Like, I'm not thinking of anybody in particular, but I guarantee if we grab like a random, let's grab like a Jewel Santana, or let's grab like one of these new guys. I can't even think of their names, but let's grab like let's grab a Cardi B album. Let's grab Amigos album. Let's grab a Game album. Let's grab like almost any album, a Busta Rhymes. I don't care. Let's grab an album. It's not like people are like, they drop 13 songs and it's 13 winners. Like most albums you kind of listen to and the beats are boring. Some of them, the Locks, that's a good example. Like you could be like a D-Block fanatic, but when you listen to a D-Block album, you're gonna have 3 songs where you like, yo, this is knocking. Like anybody can rock to this. The rest of it is like some stuff that's for the insiders. So again, I'm not being shady, but I'm saying like most albums, like most of the songs are for like insiders, people who really love it. The average person is gonna say, yo, 11 of these kind of bore me. I don't understand why they pick these beats. So I'm applying that to the whole Nas thing as well. Like people, oh, but this album was and he's a poor beat picker and. Like, nah, I'm not buying it. Like, most albums are boring. And I think he's pretty good because, at least with his albums, I'm probably going to think 3 of the songs are boring. And there's probably be another one where I'm like, what the hell was he thinking? The other 3 is just like kind of and then one is like, what the hell? But then the rest, like out of the rest is like, these are dope. So what I'm saying is, like, sometimes we get carried away and we judge people too harshly. And I think he falls into this weird box where you have to have an opinion about him because he's critically acclaimed. But you're not really a fan. You know what I'm saying? But you're supposed to have like some sort of opinion because of who he is and what albums he dropped. But in reality, it's just as silly as me having like this crazy opinion about Coldplay because they had like Clocks and Fix You. Like, yeah, I like Clocks and Fix You, but I don't really know the damn Coldplay discography. So yes, I can have an opinion, but it's like I'm trying to judge Coldplay harshly, and it's like I don't really even know the music. I'm not a fan. You're not a fan. Yet you are not a fan because you love their work that went viral. Let's use modern terms. If somebody has a project that goes viral, let's say Illmatic went viral and everybody loves it. Like you do a project that transcends genres, age, time. Obviously everybody gonna like it, but that don't make you a fan of them. So yeah, you can have an opinion, but it's kind of like, I think your opinion has a little less value. You understand? Because you're not really a fan. You have an opinion, you like that, you liked a breakout album. It's the same way. It's like if you saw a M. Night Shyamalan movie, right? The joint with Bruce Willis and the little boy, and you liked it, but you don't know the rest of his work. But you trying to say like, oh, the one he did, I See Dead People, like that was the best one, and everything else after that went downhill. But you don't even really know the projects. You probably looked at a few, but boy might have like 15 movies he made. And the people who really like him, not to say you gotta ride the bandwagon, but the people who really like him is like, okay, you saw the breakout, but damn, did you see this? And they not saying it because they just being fanboys. They saying it because those are the movies that they live with. Like when I spit his verses, it's like these are the verses that really raised us. So if you're not saying these verses, it's like, is you really a fan? I don't know. Anyway, that's my rant. I'll do some music rants, you know what I'm saying, here and there. I'll critique some albums. I'ma download that Lost Tapes 2, right? It's Lost Tapes 2. And I'ma break it down. All right, Dave Money. Subscribe. I'm out.